Hey, how's it going? This is Rob with Gorilla Press. I'm the CEO of Gorilla Press. For the first time, I bring to you NWA Women's World Champion, La Mera Mera, Thunder Rosa.
Oh my God, you said it with no accent. Great. It was good.
Well, tell us what you've been up to since your Mission Pro show.
Well, I've been busy with AEW, with other bookings outside of AEW, and then just working on my website and working on our next show, which is Tournament of Hell. We're gonna be having a tournament that is gonna define who the finalist is gonna be for December show, and where we will be crowning our first champion ever.
That is some news. I haven't heard that one yet. So tell us about Mission Pro Wrestling.
Forgot about. Yeah.
That is news because I haven't heard that yet.
Yes.
Tell us about Mission Pro and how you got that started, because everyone's wrapped up with your AEW and your NWA little contract thing. That's not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about you, what you have going with Title Match Network.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, my dog is annoying. He's excited. He hears you. We're going to talk about what you have going on with Title Match Network and how Mission Pro came to fruition for you.
So Mission Pro started last year in September, and it was for fun. We just run it because my husband wanted to run shows, and I didn't really want to have anything to do with it. So him and my friend Jeremiah came up with the idea to call it Mission Pro Wrestling. And then we ran one show where we were supposed to run the second one. It was going to be an intergender show. Mm-hmm. And it happened that the COVID hit, and everything changed. Then during COVID, the Speak Out movement was really prevalent on Twitter. And that's when Brian decided to put me in charge of Mission Pro Wrestling and make it an all-women show. And I'm not only talking about all women as in performers in the ring, but everybody, as many women as possible, taking charge of cameras, photography, booking, agency, and of course me, the main producer, owner, merchandise, the ticket holder, the people in the
personnel,
yeah,
the box office,
everybody. So 99.9% of the women are in the show, and then we have 1% of men helping us out with stuff. So that's what we've been doing, and the main focus right now of Mission Pro is to give a platform for women that have not been highlighted as much in other shows, and an opportunity to promote themselves and promote by doing podcasts, by promoting themselves on social media, and when during the show, giving them like tools on how to be better storytellers in the ring.
Well, I can tell you that the Hell Hath No Fury was quite the hell of a show.
Well, I'm glad.
I enjoyed that. Now, I saw before previously when you've taken on Lindsay Snow in this, and it was quite the battle because she's a big gal. But I saw you take on Chris Statlander before, and she's tall compared to you. And that match was different. And I heard you say that you didn't want anyone to see your matches and see the same thing they saw before.
Yes.
That was, in fact, something different. You were doing the whole little mera mera.
Yeah, I used to, or not anymore. The character from September to now is not the character that was September 2019 to before.
And I can understand that.
Dance a lot, but I think once I started doing MMA, like the dancing was like needs to stop.
Because you're the Hammer, right?
Yes, I am the Hammer.
So how do you feel about Trevor Murdoch's win at UWN?
I was really happy for him. I didn't get to see the match live. We were actually watching the debate, which was a match by itself.
It was.
And then right after that, I saw the news on Twitter. The first thing I did was to call him and tell him congratulations, that I was really proud of him. And then I watched it right after that. And the fact that he got emotional at the end, and like knowing that was real emotion, it wasn't like, sometimes like in the Japanese matches, the girls start crying after the match, and it's more like, kayfabe. Like, no, like Trevor was crying because he's really proud of of him being a champion, and it feels really nice because he's a really good guy that doesn't get a lot of credit. And for me, he's been somebody that has been on my ear for the last couple months and has helped me a lot to develop this character that Thunder Rosa is now.
Which is why I brought him up. I know you look up to him. So how do you feel about moving forward with Mission Pro and this new pay-per-view you've got coming up? I mean, do you have anyone like Big Swole lined up? I mean, I don't know how you got her, but
I mean, we do have some names coming up, not for the show. This is like, we already put who's gonna be in the show, and I think everyone deserves, just because they're not in AEW or whatever. Everybody's just talented, and they're just so and eager to showcase their abilities in the ring. And I know with this tournament, a lot of people are going to get to see some of the tournament participants that they never seen before, and they're going to be really shocked that they kind of been sleeping on them. For me, one of the ones that I can tell you is, and that's why I brought her. And when she first came back, she was really happy with Rosa Negra. She has a lot to show and a lot to give the ring and outside of the ring, not only because she has such a positive personality and attitude, no matter what struggle she's gone through for her whole career. And she just keeps bringing and giving so much positiveness when she gets in the ring. And I really enjoy that. And there's another one that I feel like a lot of people haven't really seen her, is Lacey Ryan. She's used to live in Texas. Then she moved to Las Vegas. She's currently the FCW or FSW champion, and works so hard. Like, if you guys get to see it, her stuff on Twitter and how much she trains, she is an absolute athlete. Like, I'm really excited that she's coming to our show, and she's gonna show some of that. And Genocide is another one. I really like her character, and she's developing her character of her own. So I'm happy that we are able to work with her and be a platform for her to like develop this new character that she's working on. And definitely working with other local talent here in Texas. Maddie, let's see who else we have. Killa Kate. I mean, I just blanked out. I was just like blanking out. But yeah, we have like several gals that we're working on. Over Vixen, Jasmine, all these girls, Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, that I'm really happy to have them here. Again, we're offering a different style of promotion, because like, again, when I call the girls and be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you do a podcast? And they're like, yeah, well, I'll do a podcast. And I explain why it's so important to do a podcast. And I'm not only talking about promoting Mission Pro as a show, but it's promoting yourself and learning how to do an interview and learning how to feel comfortable in front of a camera with somebody that I barely met. So it is so much different. Like, I'm telling you, I work so many different promotions, and I don't ever think that they give an emphasis on self-development.
Right. Well, what I appreciate about what you've been doing is you've been saying a lot that you want to empower them and show them. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You want to empower them and show the women that they don't have to just take a back burner and let someone tell them where they can be booked, when they can be booked, and that they can create themselves, much like you've been doing thus far. I mean, don't get me wrong, give Billy Corgan credit, give Tony Khan credit for seeking you out. However, and Christopher Daniels rather, for seeking you out. However, when you make moves like that and you know, you're like, oh yeah, I want to do it, that's something that it should be looked upon. And a lot of women should be thinking about that, especially in the industry that we're in now, where there's a lot of cross promotion going on. And, you know, a lot of women make their names in NJPW, as well as some men, much like Chris Jericho, AJ Styles. What I like to see is what you're doing. You decided to take an entire new leaf on what your original idea was. You're like, oh, okay, well, if we're gonna run it, let's do it all women, and this is how we're gonna do it. I remember you saying in the Chris Van Vliet podcast, that's something you were avidly looking to pursue in the long run, get a complete staff of women, including female referees.
You know, I worked so many women promotions, and you can see it. I mean, there's a lack of women in power. It's um it's hardly anybody in there, and even when they are, it's kind of like they're heavily influenced by a male figure, which is, you know, it's normal because we are in a male dominated business. However, moving forward in the future, we as women and we as athletes, we need to ask for those positions of power. By that I mean, um, you teach, you empower other women that will grow and becoming more assertive and be like, hey, you know what, I'm interested in doing booking. Hey, I'm interested in starting my own promotion. Hey, I'm interested in starting my own business. And how do you do it? By, you know, teaching others how to do certain stuff, and not being afraid of failing, because I think that's the main issue that a lot of people have, like when starting something new, is like, how are we going to do it, how are we going to execute it, and if we're going to be able to succeed. We've been blessed with to have 2 shows, and our second show we have 14 sponsors, so I know the vision that we have, people are taking it really well and they believe in what we're doing, and where we're trying to create a collective of women from different parts of the state, maybe the world, and where they feel like they can come and be part of a female show. And like, again, it's not just
Organization.
a female organization, and it's not just that they can wrestle, they can learn other stuff. So I mean, it's going to take time to execute all the things that we want to do, but I know that there's other women in the business that have the same vision or similar vision that I do, and we will collab, and we'll make sure that we open opportunities for anybody that is interested in doing this.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too, because you know, there are plenty women out there that are striving to do what you've done, which is break into the wrestling world, and you've done it at 28. So what would you say to those you know, your fans, teenagers and little girls alike, like the one you said dressed up and did a face paint for you? What would you say to them about pursuing?
I mean, when you pursue, you can't be afraid of failing. If you fail, that's another opportunity for you to try again and to do it better. I was just reading a quote about that, like that winners are not defined just by every time that they win. It's like all the times that they fail and they continue going. Right. So for me, that says a lot. Like, we as women, we go through a lot because we have to go through so many different things that men don't necessarily have to deal with. And I can tell you, like, something as bad as the amount of sexual harassment and the amount of harassment that men and women went through, and the whole speak out thing came out, and that was such a negative thing. We something positive, because again, a lot of the stuff that some of the girls talked about, I personally went through myself during the 6 years that I've been a professional wrestler. I mean, I didn't feel like I needed to talk about it on social media. You know, everybody decides to deal with them in a different way. But for me, it is very important that now the young generations of women and men that are being part of the wrestling business, they need to understand that there are ways in where they can put these people in line and create justice. Because a lot of them that spoke out, now they're being not harassed, but they're being charged for slander for X, Y, and Z. And there was not like a figure that can that actually guide them and say, hey, this is what you need to do next after you spoke out, because they will come out. And it's really sad, but this is the reality of things, especially with sexual harassment cases. And again, we need to empower our women and our men. Then when they feel uncomfortable in situations, that they need to say something to the aggressor and to whoever is booking them. And if that means that they're going to be blackballed, then that means that they're going to be blackballed. But they have to speak out, and in a way in where they have to be assertive, and they can't hurt them anymore. But it's again, it's a lot of educational stuff that we have to do as talent, as staff, as promoters, bookers, to let the girls and guys know that it is not okay to go through some of the stuff that some of these women and men have gone through.
Right. It's important for somebody to speak out, and the fact that so many women and men did is, I'm sure, so many that can't or feel like they can't do appreciate that, because it might have been the person who was victimizing them, and some people can't bring themselves to speaking forward about anything like that, even if they did speak to one person. I think that's very important, for people to do, and for other people to acknowledge that that's a real thing.
Because of that, a lot of people are taking action. They're creating oh Jesus Christ, sorry, I'm getting so many messages right now. I'm just like, oh my God,
they love you.
They're creating policies so they can be implemented in different promotions. Now the issue is, how are we going to implement this? How are we going to inform other promoters and see if they're willing to do this to create real change? Mm-hmm. And that's the hard part, when you have to do all the hard work and the canvassing and the knocking on doors and the getting the cold calls and everything. I mean, it's hard work, but I think if more people are invested in it and believe in this and believe that there should be like change like that, it will happen slowly, but it will happen.
I believe so too. To divert from that subject, you're pretty on fire right now on the internet. On fire. Have you received any calls from anyone else besides AEW as of late?
No.
No, not.
No.
Come on.
Not really.
Well, I could tell you a number of things, and this is probably gonna piss some people off. So at me at @press_YT on Twitter, and if you have to, at Thunder Rosa, because I'm sure she'll fire back. This is what you gotta do. I'm sorry. He's trying to protect us right now.
He just woke Drago. He was asleep and he woke up.
So basically, I'm sorry. Everybody say hi to Uno.
Aww.
So arguably, you're as on fire right now as Becky Lynch was prior to WrestleMania 35. And I think inarguably, you're better than Charlotte Flair. At me at @press_YT.
Yeah, you cannot say that. He did it.
Yeah, at me, because I said it. I think you're inarguably better than Charlotte Flair, being as though she's been in the industry 7 years, has been out with cosmetic surgery and or injuries. She's been in the industry working for about as long as you. I know she has different backgrounds, this and that, but we're talking about in the squared circle. I think you're more aggressive than her. You're more of a showwoman than she is. A lot of what comes with her is the Flair last name. What makes you so different is how aggressive you are, how fast you are, how strong you are. What do you think sticks out in your opinion, aside from those things?
My charisma. You can't teach charisma.
I don't think you can. Not yours.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. I think that's what it is. And you're a girl next door. And I treat everybody like I used to treat them when I met them when I was a fan. Nothing has changed in that aspect. My mentality is more business-wise than before, but I will say that it's a charisma. Like, that's, sometimes it's like I don't even have to do anything, and it's just walking out of the door on my entrance. That's it. That's all you have to do.
You just visually cut a promo. Don't gotta say nothing.
Exactly. And I think that's for me has been mainly what it is. Believing who Thunder Rosa is from the moment I, walk out that curtain. And perfect example, when I was working NWA, coming out with no music. the fans were like super into it. So
You were like you were the first person with entrance music, right?
mm, uh,
Or debuted with entrance music, I believe.
no, we didn't. It was like the drums, but it wasn't. I didn't come out.
Right.
I didn't come out with it. It was added to the
To the edit.
to the end of the show. Yeah, but it didn't come out with no music.
Oh, well, that was great. It was perfect. You could look that up on YouTube if you want to. NWA Thunder Rosa debut. It was awesome. They have a little video package. It was great. So that being said, I think you're better than Charlotte Flair. Have you ever thought about facing Charlotte Flair?
I mean, if it comes out,
If it gets there, it gets there.
yeah, absolutely. 530152.
Okay.
Sorry, it's just my son needed a code. I mean, if it's like I said this multiple times before. If for me being in WWE is reading on my book of life, that's what's gonna happen. And if that's for me to do a WrestleMania with Charlotte Flair, that's what's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, fine. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. No, it's right now I have so many visions of like really using Mission Pro to create this collective, a real collective of women that feel empowered, that feel like they're part of something for, that have never existed before. And just like giving that hope that even when we're in the middle of a pandemic, that you still can connect and be positive no matter what, that there is hope. Because there's a lot of women in like I can tell you, Mexico City, in all Mexico, Puerto Rico, that have not been able to wrestle and that have not had the opportunity that we women, professional wrestlers, have here in the United States to make a living by not even stepping in the ring.
Right.
So it's for me, that's what's driving me, is to create that and ingrain that in other women's mentality, that you don't need to be in the ring to make money. That you can be an entrepreneur and feed your family by not killing yourself. And that's, like I told you, that's one of the things that drives me the most, is sharing that knowledge to other women. And it's not that I want to say, well, they're gonna mess up my deal here and they're gonna take my fans. No, everybody has their cup of tea, and everybody likes different stuff. Everybody, vanilla, everybody. So I just want to teach what I know, what I have learned in the last 6 years, for other women, so they can, when this happens again, and they have access to social media, they have access to YouTube, they have access to Patreon, that they can still make money without them feeling completely hopeless.
So are you more gravitated to your professional career or to Mission Pro?
Well, it goes hand on hand, actually. Right now, I feel like it goes definitely hand on hand. But if one doesn't the way that I want to, I know I have other cushions to fall into. It's not a one thing that I'm gonna do for my life.
Right, you graduated college.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to work for $15 an hour. I'm not gonna lie.
Right, but you've accomplished things before you jumped into pro wrestling.
That's what I have to do in the future to have a stability. That's what I'm gonna do. But I know that I don't have to rely on that right now, and that I can do other stuff to provide for my family in a way where I can be my boss, that I can make my own schedule, that I can still train professional MMA, and be happy and take my vacations and do stuff like that. Like, I, believe me, I wish I could share this with a lot of my family members and tell them like the things that they can do, but they have a different lifestyle. And my lifestyle, I'm an entertainer. So you have to be an entrepreneur and find ways and hustle to put money on their table, or otherwise you won't. And thankfully, again, I have a Thunder Army, we call them, and they have been nothing but supportive this whole entire time. And I wouldn't be here talking to you. I wouldn't be doing a bunch of stuff if it wasn't because of them. They have helped me to fix my car, to, give training to Drago for his things, to purchase some stuff that I needed. And they noticed, and they donated money, supported Mission Pro Wrestling from the get-go. We were able to get, these guys, equipment, things that we needed for the ladies, so we can take care of our ladies as much as possible. And it's been such a blessing, like a blessing, and I cannot be happier than what I am right now.
Well, I congratulate you for what you've done so far, and I wish you the best with Mission Pro. With moving forward in your career, I know you said something about meeting Shayna Baszler before, and that you would like to wrestle her.
Oh, yeah.
You also said something about Asuka.
Yeah, Jackal. Yes.
You asked a few moments ago on your Twitter if you were to tag team with anybody, who should it be with? I wrote Kushida, Asuka, and I can't remember who else right now. He's jumping on me. It's on your Twitter. You could check. I could probably check right now. But I said 3 people, and I think all 3 of those would match your style. Asuka, direct, like when you locked arms with Lindsay Snow, and it was like, the Bulls, they called it, I could totally see you and Asuka doing that. Totally see you and Asuka doing that for like about 2 minutes, technical rolling around, a couple arm locks or something, maybe a couple leg submissions. I think you and Asuka could literally main event WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, anything, AEW, All Out, All In if they have it again, Double or Nothing, everything. You two, have you ever bumped heads with her in Japan?
Once at an elevator in Japan, where
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's the only time. And I said, "Hi, how are you?" And I kind of fangirl a little bit. And then I saw her. She was training, but they closed the dojo, so I can't really see what she was doing. I didn't get to see her live. This is when she was on her way to WWE. Right after I met her, she signed for WWE, so I didn't really get to be in the same ring or be in the same show. She used to work for Stardom a couple years when I joined. So, but yeah, like a lot of my friends are like, "Oh my God, Kana this, Kana that." And I'm like, "Who's Kana? Like, what in the world?" And then once she started doing WWE, started watching her stuff from Japan, and I was like, "Wow, she was fantastic."
Do you see yourself at headlining one of the Kingdom pay-per-views?
Why not? Absolutely, yeah. That would be amazing. Why wouldn't? I love Japan. I wish I could be one of the few females participating in one of those shows. It would be pretty cool.
You and Kairi Sane would be pretty awesome. She's more high flyer.
So many years. It's pretty cool. Like the last time I saw her, I think it was in Austin. She was super humble. Like this is the same as the girl that I met in Japan. And then when I was in Japan, we went out karaoke until like 5 a.m. And I remember, yeah, I was singing, and she was just like, "Oh my God, she sings like an angel." Just telling me that. So good. It was really cool. I have really good memories with her and Neo. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't picture that. That's funny to think of. When you wrote that, you had to have somebody in mind.
Wrote
Who
what?
would you like to tag team with?
Actually, curious. A lot of those tweets that you guys see, they don't come from me. I have a team, and my team is my husband, and he's really good at getting our fans riled up, engaged. So he does a lot of questions. If you see like the inspirational quotes and a lot of the stuff that have like a lot of like grammatical errors, that's probably me. If you see like anything like which is engagement or anything like that, is sometimes me. My husband, he's really good at that. He just likes to get ideas and see where everybody's at.
I gotta applaud the man again. He is such like a backbone for what you've got going on right now. Such an inspiration. He pushed you, and give him his credit where it's due. Tell everybody.
Oh, your dog keeps like waking Drago up. Is the cutest thing ever.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Drago needs to up in it. Lazy. What is she doing? Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's amazing. You've told everybody on your podcast. Every time you say something about an achievement you've had or something you're gonna do or what motivated you, it's always your husband. And
Well, yeah.
he's been there since the beginning, no?
Yeah, I mean, he's been there day one. Like a lot of the decisions that I make on is based on both of us. It's not based on me. I mean, yes, I make some decisions, but he's gonna be with me when rest is over. So I gotta make sure I make decisions that are gonna be. They're gonna both impact both of us because I'm a wife and I'm a mother. So when I make decisions, it will impact my whole entire family.
Okay. So tell everyone about your MMA endeavor that may be coming back in about February.
Well, I don't know yet. Everything's up in the air. It all depends also on my wrestling schedule. Once I get super busy and I will be, traveling and stuff. I have to I have to make sure that I have time. It's so important that when you're fighting, that you are there all the time. Otherwise, it's just very disruptive, and then your mind is not there. So that can cause you to lose. But on this one, definitely I have to make sure.
He's like Drago when you do your cameos. He's like,
Yes.
I'm gonna enlighten Mania Club if you're listening. We've got a special announcement to make. We're gonna be doing a virtual meet and greet. Sorry, he jumped up here again. We're gonna be doing a virtual meet and greet for Connor's Cure and benefit of Connor's Cure, and Thunder Rosa will be a part of that, and you will be able to ask her any questions you want for maybe about 40, 50 minutes or so, give or take. She'll be all yours. We'll be there. We'll host it for you. You'll be able to ask her questions. We'll give you all the details on the Mania Club fan page, and just stay tuned for all of that. Moving forward, you have it. Your pay-per-view for Mission Pro is on a set date in November. What set date is that?
November 6th.
November 6th. And that is the Tournament of Hell?
Yes.
Who do you have lined up for that? Who does your booking? I'm sorry. Who does your booking?
Robin Reed. She does my booking.
Because she chose Lindsay Snow for you? Or was that something you had input?
That's something I have input. Like on a lot of major matches or whatever, we work as a team, but 90% of the booking she doesn't.
Well, it was quite a match, I'll tell you that, because you were in the ring, you were out the ring, you were on the ropes, you were through the ropes, you were drop kicking everybody from her, but from every angle. It was you were here, you were there. It was unbelievable. I like watching your work. So that being said, have you watched back All Out, your Dynamite appearance with Serena Deeb, and which of the two matches, not having you pick a favorite or crap on anyone, but which of the two do you think exposed you the most? Because your match with Serena Deeb until All Out was hailed over the internet as the best women's match in AEW history. And that was with two women that were currently at the time not signed with AEW. So that says a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm still not signed.
No, Serena Deeb is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Both of you at the time weren't.
I think that will be. It's hard because both are very different. But what put us on the map, both of us, was definitely that one, the first one. It's always about first impressions, right? And we definitely had a great impression on a lot of people. I think what everybody was like, oh my God, I didn't know that Thunder Rosa can do this, is when I was with Kushida in the ring and we did all out. I said, I don't think people, maybe they kind of underestimate us and they wouldn't think that we could last 15 minutes, which to me is crazy. Like a lot of my matches are 20 to 30 minutes lately. So I was like, okay. But it was it was definitely a challenge because, you know, we were put in such a awful situation. It was after Matt Hardy and had that terrible accident, and the mood was like really somber. Everybody was
Mm-hmm.
there, and we had to go out there and follow that. So I'm really happy that Shida, as a professional that she is, she's just, you know, gave her all, and even though I lost, it wasn't like I lost at all. So it
Well,
was. It was
I was gonna say, where's your title? Show it, because you didn't lose. That's for certain.
I honestly don't. What's my title? I think
Uh-oh.
it's in my bag.
Uh-oh, Bailey. So that I want to say, to touch on that match with Serena Deeb, that was a fantastic match. Followed by the All Out match with Shida. That was a clinic for people who both weren't. See, you have a lot of people who watch AEW but have become Shida fans through watching her work. And, you know, obviously she's the AEW Women's World Champion, so she gets a lot of credit for that. But you have a lot of people who've become her fan through AEW, but then you have tons of people who followed NJPW and all the Japan stuff, and we've seen her work. So going into All Out, for those who were aware of what she's capable of, I think those who also knew what you were capable of were 100% expecting what you gave us. And I think, knowing what I was expecting out of the two of you, you've exceeded my expectations. And that is, in my opinion, I'm just going to put it out like this. I'm sure you've probably heard this. That and the tag match were the standout matches on that card, and I believe you and Shida took the cake. And that being said, you know, you've got 4 guys working in the ring at the same time, but out of all the singles matches, you and Shida took the cake. It was unbelievable. I think you should tag with her. I think if she ever
She's so
leaves,
easy to work with, man. Sorry, I'm like, my phone's up. Sorry.
ow, ow.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she is so easy to work with, and I really enjoy working with her. And like, you know, I have a lot of experience working tag matches. I work with Hollywood for so long, so I mean, I have plenty of experience working in so many different places and so many different styles. And I think sometimes I feel, because of I haven't been wrestling for that long, people don't give me the respect, or they feel that I am still very inexperienced without taking the time to ask me how I believe the match should go, or like the psychology that it should have based on what we're trying to convey in the story. So I hope that in the next couple of years, when I continue to wrestle, people understand that it's not all about me. So it's about the story and the match that we're going to put in, because we want to elevate women's professional wrestling at the end of the day. So
That match already had the cloud of champion versus champion behind it, but I think if there was no champion versus champion, you know, stigma that came along with the match, I believe that still would have been the standout singles match of the entire night. I mean, the story you told throughout that, along with Shida, was oh man, she's tough, oh man, she's strong style. It's like, you know, it was quite the match, and the way you guys pulled it off, like the close calls and the all 2.5, it was, you know, amazing work with the camera angles. Also AEW, their work is good, praise Tony Khan. But I like what you did with her, and moving forward, you had a match with Ivelisse. After that match, you had a tag match with Shida against Ivelisse and Diamante. That was a spectacular match, which is another reason why I think you should have Shida as a tag partner moving forward, if for any reason you should need one. That was amazing. Your work alongside with Shida, never mind butting heads, was amazing. It was almost like you've worked together previously as a tag team. not to take away from Diamante or Ivalise's work, because that was pretty amazing what the two of them had too. They had a little chemistry going in there, and I appreciated that. Do you think NWA should do something similar as far as tagging women more often?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do in the women's division, and that's not the only thing that I think we should do. Hopefully, in the future, that's, like you said, one aspect that we can work on. Definitely.
So you're NWA, you're gun ho NWA for the long haul.
I mean, if that's, like I said, if that's on my book of life, yes. If it's not, I don't have a problem working other places, but it's, again, hopefully that's where I'm going to be doing stuff and developing a lot of the things, and that's my hope, and that's what I want to do. But sometimes, life has other things for you. But so far, right now, I'm signed with NWA for a minute. So, and I will do everything that is in my power to help develop the women's division, so we can be very different from everything else that is in the market.
I appreciate that too, because NWA Power's women's division is I don't want to say underestimated. I mean, they might be to a certain extent, but the women's division there is pretty tough. And I think when you showed up, episode 2, I believe it was, you added like a little salt, like a little pepper to that salt that was there. And I'm like, there we go. Now we got some color to the women's division. Somebody who I think could shake things up. And when you showed up there and you were like, oh, all aggressive, and you barely said anything, your visuals said it all, I was like, oh, this is a Thunder Rosa to be reckoned with. And sure enough, you showed that. NWA Women's Champion, still defending through the pandemic.
Yeah, and I was still, until the wheels fall off, or until any other things happen, I will do and uphold this championship to the maximum level that I can, and give the most value as possible, and more than any other woman in the current history has given to the title.
I believe that too. I believe that wholeheartedly. I think what you have going with Mission Pro Wrestling is something spectacular. It's special, and I want you to plug it. Tell everybody where to find it, when your next show is.
Find it at missionprowrestling.net. Tickets are available there. Also, the link to watch the pay-per-view, it's there, but if not, it's on titlematchnetwork.com. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Just go to the website, and all our sponsors, everybody is being showcased in our social medias on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can find all of this on missionprowrestling.net.
And you can also get your custom La Mera Mera shirts at thunderrosa.net, right?
Yes, you can. All my merchandise is there. I have new 8x10s, masks. I'm gonna have more, since the winter is coming, or the winter is here. I'm gonna have new blankets with new designs. What else am I working on? I'm working on a bunch of different things. New cool masks that I'm be working on. I have water bottles. I'm gonna have more action figures. I'm probably have some figure pops.
Funko Pops?
The Funko Pops, yes.
Those. Oh, I'm getting one.
I don't know. I'm gonna have a bunch of other stuff. I'm still working on it. And then you guys see the new design that I'm printing. So I'm printing that. I'm reprinting the one with my black and white face. I'm printing the La Loteria again, because everybody's been asking for that one. I'm waiting on that one. So as soon as I get them, they're limited edition again. I think I print them. This is like the 8th time that I print them, but it takes forever because they have so many colors. But yeah, we're working on new merchandise, and you guys, I'm also available on Cameo. I'm available on, Jesus Christ, on Skype. I do Skype calls, and I do special photo shoots, and probably very soon I'll have a Patreon for all of you guys open, with a lot of videos from my whole entire career, from Japan, videos that you've never seen from Japan, with other women that are very famous now. Yeah, I would like to show that in my Patreon, and you guys can see all of that. And YouTube, YouTube is happening in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to be uploading some new videos.
And you can find her at Thunder Rosa 22 on Twitter.
And Instagram and Facebook.
And Instagram and Facebook. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's been Thunder Rosa, and I'm Rob from Gorilla Press. You can find her at missionprowrestling.net, thunderrosa.net, and you can find us at press_YT on Twitter. Also follow us here, subscribe, click the like button, and you'll get tons more content like this. Find her pay-per-view November 6th, Tournament of Hell on Title Match Network. Thank you for joining us. This is Uno. I'm Rob. That's Drago. And that's Thunder Rosa. This has been Gorilla Press. Thank you, and have a good one.